Just get so close to your being, so intimate with your being that that's all you feel. Just feel yourself without thought. Just feel your pure, naked being prior to experience, prior to thought, prior to perception. Notice how content, expansive, infinite, unqualified, unmanifest, eternal you are. And where did those words go? Notice how timeless you are, where everything's just ephemeral and passing like a cloud in the blue sky, and you remain untouched. You remain content. And just abide as yourself, as your true essential self, pure consciousness, pure infinite being. The one imagining this, the one that's tasting the sound of this voice, the one that's appearing as this voice to taste it. Notice you can't see yourself because you're not an object. You're pure subjectivity. You can only be yourself. But you intuitively feel yourself, you sense yourself as this felt sense. I am this feeling of being. This aware being, self-aware, so immediate, so intimate that there's no experiencer or experienced. There's just experiencing, tasting, vibrating as a frequency within yourself, as a quality, as something to be aware of, to see yourself in the mirror, to recognize yourself as the one aware, the one dreaming this. The one dreaming yourself as all the characters in the world. Dreaming yourself as what you're not so that you can recognize what you are. To have a reference point. So you appear to yourself within yourself as what you're not, as a limited thought, perception. To recognize yourself as the limitless, infinite being. And to experience yourself not only as the playground, the universe that you are appearing as, but to recognize yourself as the unmanifest. The uncaused cause, the omnipotence, to realize yourself as God. Because how else could you? You're singular, you're all alone, you're pure, unmanifest potential in a superposition. No thing, no object, formless, infinite, can't be finite. So by imagining finite mental projection, mental idea, quality, frequency, you can taste yourself as I am. You can recognize yourself, experience yourself, realize yourself. And you never forgot yourself. You've always only known yourself. This presence, this I am. I exist. I'm alive. I'm conscious. What we've always referred to as myself or I, because that was what was always there, unchanging. Always constant. Eternally. Prior to experience, prior to mind, prior to the projection, the modulation of yourself into the activity of thinking and perception. And this pure self that never changes, never dies, is ageless, is always in perfect health. No form, no body. Nothing separate, no outside cause to harm. And playfully getting yourself wrapped up by being awareness, illuminating the dream illuminating the thought of a character and getting wrapped up in the story, and then mixing up the I am, with the dream that you're dreaming, that you're projecting to experience. And then seeing yourself, recognizing yourself. That's pure consciousness, formless, unqualified. And realizing you've always been this, and how beautiful of a love story that was, that you fell for your own scam or got lost in your dream, all to wake up to yourself, because how else could you without dreaming what you're not and without getting lost in the dream. So dreaming this to wake up to yourself, to realize yourself, to recognize yourself as the infinite, formless, unmanifest. But first, appearing to limit yourself or localize yourself so that you could wake up to yourself. So everything is known by what it's not. You can only know what you're not. You can only be what you are. So everything is known through the negation of what it's not. All meaning is derived from that. Because everything is you, is the unmanifest. You can't know anything finite. You can only know what's not. And what's not is made of you. So what's unreal is real because you're all there is. And its realness is borrowed from your realness. You're giving rise to it. You're imagining it. And look at how powerful. Look how freaking powerful. Look at this, a big bang right now. Right now. You just created this on the fly because you're God. Look at this. I've been writing a lot recently, and I was writing about how in between two thoughts, you're obviously your empty potential in a superposition, just infinite, pure, unqualified consciousness prior to mind, prior to projecting the thinking and perception to know, to have knowledge, to experience, to conceptualize yourself as the non-conceptual infinite. So you like fall through the cracks in between two thoughts, and it's obvious this is timeless. And nothing has ever happened before this. So with each thought, you create a new universe, a new universe that never existed before. Nothing existed before this. Even those words didn't happen. It's boom, big bang, boom, big bang. So it's like timeless, total freedom, total clean slate. Right now, every moment, nothing's ever happened. You never even had a thought. Abiding as your ageless, limitless, infinite, timeless awareness, the awareness that you are, abiding as that, completely, firmly established, without a doubt. Nothing's ever happening. So with each thought, you create a new universe. And it appears to change based on your awareness of yourself as infinite potential, infinite being. So then how you resonate, or as the light of awareness, what you believe, you dream. So this whole illusory world, like looking through a VR headset, it's like holographic, and it's made of you as the screen of awareness. You're illuminating it, you're giving rise to it. And you're the one infinite mind tasting the frequency of it within yourself and are what it's made of. So the pure abiding as the self completely changes the dream. All there is yourself, the one dreaming, the one infinite, formless, unseeable being. I am this pure aliveness, this pure life force experiencing this pure light of awareness, this pure power. So like lucid dreaming. So your aware being that you are is in the forefront of the dream, kind of like the movie screen in the movie theater in front of the movie. And you're no longer getting wrapped up in the drama of the movie you're projecting. You see yourself at the screen, unchanging, ageless, invincible. So that even translates into the illusion, the dream, because all you can see is yourself as the infinite, formless, invincible. So even the avatar is formless and limitless, bodiless. There is no body. There is no character. All of it's your formless self. So it's congruent or consistent with your resonance of being, your awareness of being. So then that's how you project, you dream. And it's so beautiful how the frames are filled in, like everything's a clue or an analogy. Like we dream all these clues and analogies to wake ourselves up from the dream. Everything's a clue, but like the projector, the movie theater clue, the belief or thought is the slide in the projector. And then the light is your power of awareness, your light of awareness illuminating through. By being aware of the belief, you're dreaming, you're projecting time, you're projecting perception, space, illusory, mental projection so that you can experience, wake up to yourself. But like that analogy, the single frame of the belief or the idea, and then you as the power, omnipotence, the light of awareness shining through the frame, rendering it, conceiving and perceiving it, creating it on the fly, making it appear manifest, imagining it, dreaming it on the screen of awareness that you are. Do you dream how you feel, how you believe, how you resonate? And it's so cool how I don't know if you can hear that awesome fucking bird, but I live in a temperate rainforest. Um, it's so cool how you fill in the gaps with your imagination. So, like the room, when there's no thought, you're your timeless superposition, empty potential, infinite self, unmanifest being, like in deep sleep, when you're not dreaming, when you're not appearing or modulating yourself as the activity of thinking, which is the waking state. You're all alone. You're aware of nothing because you're all by yourself as pure awareness. So you're only aware of yourself as unmanifest, empty potential. So there's nothing to be aware of. There's nothing to, um, because you're not an object, which is why you don't remember it. But you know that you were there, you were aware that there was. But in this beautiful dream where you're projecting the beliefs on the screen, modulating yourself as thought so that you can perceive, you can have something to be aware of, an object of awareness, to recognize yourself as the non-objective awareness. But how there's filling in the gap with an assumption that the room that you're sitting in is continuous. And so the power of awareness, giving rise to that assumption projects the room appearing just like you left it before. So the content of the quality is borrowing its continuity from yourself as awareness because you're the only thing continuous that never changes, that's always there, unqualified, unmanifest being. But how you render and assume and make it appear continuous like a movie. But in between each thought, there's no time, there's no movie, there's no finite mind, there's no thinking, perception, experiencing. You're prior to all of that. You're the source of it. So in between two thoughts, you fall back into yourself as pure being, which is always there, even with two thoughts, but it's just really obvious and basking in your own silence, which is why you dream characters like Nisargadatta saying, just stay, just stay in the feeling I am without thought. Just be, just meditate on your being. Just be silent. We dream Papaji saying, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. You'll see yourself. And it's all too obvious. That's the joke. It's too intimate, too close, too familiar, too self-evident, too even palpable. This felt sense of being. Yeah, so in that silence without thought, just being aware, being yourself, being your essential self, which you already are. It's you can't attain that or find it because you are it. And playfully, you know, being awareness, projecting the modulating yourself as the thinking and perceiving to taste and getting wrapped up in it. Playfully, there can be trying to avoid seeing yourself or keeping busy with thoughts and concepts and dogmatic rules and restrictions and limited beliefs and stuff to keep you from distracted. And so when I was very vigilant. I was like a samurai. I would pull out my sword of awareness right when I was getting wrapped up in my own scam. But yeah, this is too easy. This is too already being what you are, too effortless that there's no doing or effort or, and that's the problem. It's too easy. So just basking, feeling yourself, being aware without thought, just pure aware being, just pure knowing you're experiencing, feeling without thought. Mhm. And then that's all you can feel. That's all you know is your unmanifest self. And that's all you see. That's all you taste. That's all you touch. That's all you hear. I was going to look at some writings real quick, just for fun. What is the one that's hearing this made of? Don't answer with a thought, just answer with experience, knowing, sensing, feel yourself. What are these words made of? What is this sound made of? Notice you can only find yourself. All you can find is pure consciousness, pure awareness. You can only know an object. You can only be the formless one that knows. So being the knowing, modulating yourself as the known, which is the knowing, because all you can find is yourself as pure consciousness, pure awareness. All there is. So vibrating within yourself, tasting yourself as a unique frequency signature to experience. Taste yourself. We can't know ourselves as something, as an object. So, in reference to what we're not, an object of awareness. So, modulating ourselves as an object of awareness. And by paying attention to that, we recognize ourselves. Mm-hmm. We experience, feel intuitively what we are. And awareness getting identified with the things it knows to forget, appears to playfully forget itself, localize itself in its own infinite mind to experience itself as the universe, as manifest. Because how else could you? You're unmanifest. So you'd appear as subject and object. You can only know what is not. You can only be what is. So born again right now. Nothing ever happened. Empty, clean slate, always. This empty openness, infinite potential, empty potential. Pure being. Through the portal I am, you project yourself as thought and perception, to project yourself as something to be aware of. You wanted a reference point to experience yourself as the universe and recognize yourself as God. When you're fully intimate with experience, being present, purely aware without thought, you are realizing yourself as what the experience is made of. You're directly experiencing yourself as the source. So that's why being aware of something, you see yourself, it's like intuitively, knowingly. And you transmute it, you dissolve it, you swallow it as yourself, as the unmanifest. So it disappears within you. There's no subject object. And there never was. Just pure knowing. So hear yourself in this voice. You're not yourself a sound, but are what the sound is made of. Taste yourself as this flavor. You're not yourself a flavor, but you're what the flavor is made of. And just bask in your silence. Be aware of this experience so intently that it disappears in you, because you are the unmanifest, looking at yourself. Yeah, there's no body, there's no physical world, just eternal consciousness, dreaming, tasting, and not. Dreaming and not dreaming. and you're all of it. So even if you're dreaming the quality or sensation of resistance, your God appearing as that. You can never abandon yourself. You can only be yourself. And all there is yourself. So whether there's getting immersed in your own projection, your own dream, and forgetting yourself as the one dreaming, you're always the one dreaming. That's all there is. The one in deep sleep, the pure awareness that's always aware, self-aware. Being aware of nothing, being aware of everything. Being nothing, appearing as everything. So just being present with yourself, focusing on yourself is the source. Study this feeling of being, just bask in it, make love to it. That's yourself. That's what all the fuss is about, this feeling of being, this felt sense of being. That's what we were looking for years, which is such a beautiful story. All to wake up to ourselves. So we can chat if you want to or not, or I'll keep rambling.
I just like listening and I don't know, like it's so nice because it's like that infinite space and that peace and that stillness that is everything already. It's kind of like with my mind, it's like these subtle things inside of it that are like caught up in reactions and and it's like nice because just by listening to you, it goes back into that ultimate stability. I mean, whenever I hear you speak, it's like incredibly stable and just it's so nice. Um
That's beautiful. You're hearing yourself. You're feeling yourself. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's just like these oh, it feels like a lot of pain and some odd sensations, like other people's like trauma being like imparted onto you, and you see, like that level of, their psyche, and people are malicious and try to attack you and stuff. And so it's a little bit trying to not be disturbed by certain things by, you know, so basically, it's kind of like I'm realizing that I can just always just go back within myself, and it's, there's nothing to fix. Basically, I'm going the
Yeah.
opposite way by trying to tinker with things. And so by going within, it just all takes care of itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just I got to keep letting go and getting further and further behind all of this because it's just everything is home already, and everything.
Yay. And your awareness appearing as that, as those resisted, limited beliefs or qualities, or tasting that. And so like you're the power of awareness that's unqualified prior to experience, prior to
Mm,
finite mind. And then you reference, you
that's the most stable thing
modulate
in all
or
of existence. Yeah.
project yourself as the thinking and perceiving so that you can appear to yourself, manifest, which is all imagined, it's all dreamt. It's not really happening. You're just illuminating it, dreaming it, imagining it, like lighting up the VR
Mm.
headset. Like you're the pure awareness behind the headset that's untouched and eternal, doesn't die, doesn't, that's tasting these qualities, these elicited sensations that are appearing, which are not what they appear to be. They're just like like tasting a frequency of yourself, or like a not separate, never, you can't be separate. You're dreaming yourself as everything. But that so like there's that introverted part where you're abiding as your pure self, just aware being without thought, and it's obvious nothing ever happened. You're timeless. you're
Mm.
infinite, nothing can touch you, you know. And then you turn your awareness back on, like the projector in the movie, and then you shine through that belief or that, and then you dream it, you project, you imagine it. And so, and you're what it's made of, you know, you're the power, the realness that it's giving rise to it. What's appearing is not real. It doesn't exist on its own independently. There's no outside cause. You're the power making it appear. So you're
Mm.
rendering all of this right now. Like
The
this
way
is,
the way
yeah,
that the Tibetans describe this is like non-dual co-arising. It's like the identity that you have with I essentially is the creating principle behind
yeah,
all things. And so it's like any attachment that you have with I,
yeah. I
you
am,
know,
fill in the blank. I am that I am. So you're the power. And then you're shining your light on the ideas and you're making them appear real. And when you get identified with them, you're
yeah,
giving your power away to them, and you're making, they don't ever have power. This is all imaginary. It's a hallucination. Like thoughts
yeah,
are not real. None of it's real.
nothing
You're,
can ever be taken away.
yeah, you're the power giving rise to it. And that's how powerful you are, is that when there's
All
something that you're
power.
believing, you dream it, you render it. So if you believe that there's others that are traumatized, that are separate entities, which
This is
there are
this
no
is
separate entities. There's
this is
only one, which is yourself. The
this is where it's interesting because it's like the whole dream rendering thing with subtle attachments and identities. It's kind of like, in my own, how did I manifest this person to kind of attack me in a very specific way? And it's
mm-hmm,
so interesting because I used to have like, I used to think that I had like a negative entity on this right side of my body, but it was part of
mm-hmm,
like, the part of waking up. Because if I didn't have anything like that, I wouldn't have been pushed so hard to go to the light.
mm-hmm,
But essentially, I forgot what I was saying with that. So it's like after everything got obliterated in absolute space of ultimate purity, where it's just nothing's ever existed, nothing's ever happened, it's all pure immaculate you.
mm-hmm,
Um, it's like uh, it's like then I came back, and it just seems so interesting because it's like I feels like these old subtle things in my mind are almost manifesting, like this event with this person. And it's like, and since it's all dreamy and it's all a complete like illusion, it's like, I don't really know. It's hard for me to see if I'm like doing actual psychological work on myself through all of this, but it's just an interesting thing to note because it's like, it feels like I'm dreaming it and I'm creating it from something else and I'm getting lost in how that's manifesting. And so
well,
instead,
let me ask you right now, um what are these, you know, without answering it with a thought or a word or memory, just
mm,
pure experiencing,
that's the
what
answer.
are these people and things made of without a thought, like right now?
Yeah, the silence, yeah, the
It's
immaculate.
nothing. Nothing ever happened. There, all of that's a dream. It's kind of like waking up from your dream last night and being like, I cannot believe those fucking vampires in that dream last night, and they were siphoning my energy. And
That's
so it's
exactly
just as
it.
ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like it's not,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it's kind of like the analogy of God being schizophrenic or something, because when you're identified with being the character, which you're dreaming yourself as all these characters, you're talking to yourself and battling with yourself, but you're hallucinating that there's other entities, and there's not. And all it is a projection of your beliefs that haven't come home yet. They haven't been integrated.
Mm.
So whenever that scam comes up, because those are all scams, you dissolve it with your power.
Yeah,
Just
you were
being aware
talking.
without thought. It's the one formula for everything. It's like a
Exactly.
samurai sword. Shing! It destroys everything like Kali, because you are the unmanifest. So when you're aware of being aware of it without thought, you see yourself as the absolute and you swallow it whole. You dissolve it. You can't even hold on to it. If you try to hold on to a feeling or a thought, it dissolves instantly, because you're unmanifest. There are no thoughts. You can't find a separate self. You cannot find a separate person or entity or even physical world.
Yeah, it's like you were talking about like the making love with yourself kind of thing. It's like it reminds me of like it's so good like inside of you being like home and infinite bliss and
Mm-hmm.
I mean indestructible like a Vajra, stable as a mountain, pure as a lotus, strong as a lion, incomparable pleasure beyond all limits, illuminations, peak of the Dharma, light of the
Okay,
universe.
let me mention right now
It's
that
just what
when
you
the
are,
more
the
you
the kingdom
abide,
of heaven. Oh, that's what I was
yeah,
saying. Yeah, like it's the release and the relaxing
yes,
into because it feels like just a subtle resistance is somewhere to where I'm like just disturbed and I'm like, all
that's
right,
the
like
thing. It's like the more you bask
trying to let go of
in
all that to go
in
back to
your
that way.
pure
Yeah.
being, the more you're feeling your pure being and you're just abiding as long as you can every day. The more you do that, the more it swallows. It's like deleting, because this is like a main computer of infinite, information, and you're deleting that hard drive of limited beliefs, of scams, because you realize yourself as the source.
It's the
So much
indestructible
so,
perfection.
doubtlessly, the more doubtless you are, the more conviction you have, the more certain you are, self knowledge.
Mm,
None of that comes up anymore. It translates or transmutes or is congruent with the dream, and everything that you experience matches your self knowledge, your understanding.
mm,
So that fixes everything.
mm,
And
mm.
so there are no separate entities or people. If you really study what experience is, when you break it down, back, break it down, you only come back to pure awareness every time. That's all there is.
Source.
So look into what that's made of. Like when those things come up, like be aware of being aware of it and it dissolves. When you have a thought, there's an entity trying to get me or traumatize me, which is just a limited belief thought.
Mm,
I
I
used
don't
to
like
I
that.
used to say, what's aware of that thought? I used to ask that question, what's aware of that thought? And right away I'd turn around and look at myself, and then
Mm,
it would dissolve. I'd be aware of it, feel it fully, allow it, welcome it, without resistance, and then it would dissolve instantly, and then it stops coming up. They're just little playful scams to keep
I
the
feel
hide
like
and
some of
seek
them
dream going.
I feel like some of them are really stuck. Like, right? Like, see, I'm working on it, and this is how I would work on it. Like with this one, it's like I'm really disturbed, and it's kind of like you don't want to look at that level of like disturbedness. So it like
Oh
creates
yeah.
like an insane level of resistance.
Oh yeah. And
And
what you
so,
resist persists.
yeah, and
You
so
got to
that's what
make
I'm
love to
going,
that.
yeah, going into like the heart of that and essentially kind of going like, I am not disturbed. And then by the conviction of knowing, because it's all mind,
Yeah.
it changes it, and then it's kind of like okay, and so basically, since supreme bliss is literally the fucking effortless state, all I'm really trying to do is get rid of all of the things so I
And
can go
it's not
back.
even a state. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not even an
yeah,
experience.
okay, yeah, it's just what you are.
What you are, you can't be it. I try to attain it. You can only be it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why like it's all the external attachments and caught in like the things outside instead of going within. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like how to is like a bit of naivety of like thinking that I got to do these things like in the illusion to, be in the bliss outside of it.
Yeah.
But it's like yeah, I mean it's really just trying to dissolve everything to go back to, the supreme, the bliss that you already are that's ever present, the Tao or
Yeah,
uh,
what's so cool is I got so excited when that stuff would come up to be integrated, because I'd be like, "Oh, goody, come on, give me all you got, because we need to fucking integrate so I can live the best life ever, and so that I can just be God, you know? So
yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
I welcome you like an unconditionally loving mother. I want to feel you. I want to make love to you right now." And so
Mhm.
it didn't matter where I was at. Like if I was filling out an application or
Yeah.
talking to someone and a limited belief popped up, I zapped it right then and there. I'd close my eyes and be aware of it, make love to it, feel it fully without thought, and it would come home instantly.
Mm.
And then I'd go, it just was I was very vigilant with that. And that's not necessary, because when you're fully abiding as the self, when you're just basking, it dissolves it automatically. So it can appear as
Because it
instant.
doesn't exist to begin
Yeah,
with.
and
Yeah.
doesn't it there's nothing that even needs to be integrated, because it's always fucking home sweet home always, and none of it's even real or exists anyway without a thought. It's just a playful way
Mm.
to manifest yourself or dream yourself, to recognize yourself. So, and you'll dream a nightmare to wake yourself up from the dream. So this is an opportunity to be free, like you're
Oh
you're
yeah.
dreaming this to wake up from it, because the more crazy it gets, the more, like in the nightmare at night when you're just thrashing and you're refusing to accept this is real, you're like, this cannot be real, there's no way, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my god, that was just a dream. So it's all the opportunity, it's all the ticket to freedom. Basically, it's whatever's coming up, just instantly make love to it, allow it, feel it fully, be aware without thought, and
Mm.
it just dissolves. And the more you bask, the more it just takes care of itself, and you don't even have that anymore. And the more realized you are, the more you dream heaven, or the analogy of Satya Yuga,
I think that that's kind of like the issue that I have with this one spot in my being is just like it's an association with an experience of infinite bliss. And so like there's some odd connection like with it and like my attachment with it as like a means of like, I don't know, like
You're using it to postpone, is what's happening. You're
it's like
using
I
it as
don't
a playful way to postpone seeing that you're already that, because
mm,
you keep
yeah.
putting it on a pedestal and as an object,
I think
something
it's the
out there.
ignorance. The ignorance of it's like I used to hold on to it just because it's like if without this, like I didn't think that I could, like it would be kind of like the milestone. Like if I surpassed this, then I would be, where I wanted to be essentially. So it's like if so basically by that point and like holding it is like all these little subtle attachments with it that are just interesting in all
Yeah.
honesty because that's what I think is contributing to these manifestations. But what was I saying? I think it has to do with the just it all goes back into source and just that sort of non-action kind of thing.
Yeah,
Really,
just don't think.
yeah,
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 just like
exactly.
even right now, what is there without a thought?
The answer.
Yeah, there's just,
Everything I've ever wanted.
yeah.
Right.
And the more you feel yourself, the more deeply you rest, the more you feel yourself as everything. So it can feel like ecstasy, even having a thought or a sensation, or,
That's yeah.
yeah, because you can only find yourself in everything. That's all you see
Mm,
is your unseeable, unmanifest self, the limitless being that you are, that doesn't have a name or an age or a gender, that's just pure infinite consciousness, infinite empty potential. So always open and empty and timeless.
mm.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
keep.
that those concepts can keep the mind busy, and that's the issue with that, with those, which is,
It
it's
just feel
not
yeah.
an issue, but it's like it's just a game. It's a hide and seek game.
Yeah, it's just it just feels like I don't know if they feel so disturbed or if it's what. I mean, it's all an illusion, and it's you can just go into complete like non-disturbedness or whatever. But I'm not sure. It's just the more that that comes through in the stillness and the basking, the more that it all dissolves, and then
That's
it's
it. And that's too easy. That's too effortless. It's just being what you already are. So that's too
mm,
easy.
mm,
That's the problem. The mind wants to make it complicated and layer on these dogmatic beliefs and concepts. And I need to go through this stairway to get to this gateway of
mhm,
heaven. And it's got to look like this color and it's got to feel like this. Okay, that is a scam. And so you take out your samurai sword of awareness and just be aware of it without thought, and boom, dumpster
mm.
fire. You got to, yeah, just don't fall for any of those scams anymore. Even the studying, I had to stop the studying. I had to stop the fucking obsessing over the advaita fucking ancient
Yeah,
textbooks and shit.
it's
I had to,
just
yeah,
just for me. It's just that it's just like okay, like whenever my mind does like it's like okay, perfect abiding in like peaceful stillness. It's like okay, that's good. There's no resistances. There's
too
no
easy.
yeah, it's pure awareness, and then it's just just not because it's easy for the mind to bite into like another storyline if it's already kind of in the groove of it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like remaining away from that. But like in the not touching, or the not interfering with appearances, interactive
Mm-hmm.
non-doing. And so
And
basically,
thoughts aren't the bad guy. They're just,
mhm,
at first you want to kind of get naked of experience, and you just want to turn around and be,
that's the thing. It's the
yeah,
turning around and
be
going
aware
all
of
the
being
way
aware.
back in, like all the way back
Well,
home.
it's not even all the way back. It's instantly this right now,
Mhm.
eternally,
Like the way,
timelessly
like,
being.
but in the integration process, like Rumi like describes it as like rings of bliss. Like as you go
Mm-hmm.
from ignorance towards it, it's like your nature is infinite love. So it's like as these identities that you are not, that you're currently
Mm-hmm.
identified with, shed away, the bliss that you already are expands.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so
Oh
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying whenever I go home or whatever, whenever I
Yeah.
do the non-doing. And that's why it's just simply just about being and maintaining an effortlessly peaceful state, because that is
Mm-hmm.
the road home. That is that effortlessness. That is that
Yeah, the I
non-doing.
am is the portal. So just being
So
the
it's just
felt
getting
sense I
everything
am, and
aligned
that's it. Yeah.
with that so I can just kind
Even
of
this
bask,
even this feeling,
go into the
like
sun.
right now, feel myself, feel my being. Even the words my being point to yourself, myself, prior to experience, prior to character, the felt sense of self, of being, I am. That's it. That's what we spent years looking for, which has
Mhm.
always been here, and that's the joke. And that's the only constant, which is not even constant because that's word implies time, but just timelessly permanent, absolute, always there, never dies. And that's what we when the body was 5, but there was like, we were told we were the body in the dream for fun to wake up to ourselves as God. We dreamt parents, saying you're a body and believing it. And then because of that belief, you projected as science teachers teaching physics and saying there's a physical world out there, even though I can't prove it. And so then this whole scam gets dreamt, so all to wake up to yourself. And then you dream, then you, that self-knowledge, that basking as yourself, everything translates as that. You can only see that, the dream that you're projecting yourself as is you as the infinite formless being. And so there's nothing separate. So you can feel yourself in the sound of this voice
Mm.
because you're what the sound of this voice is made of. You can hear yourself in every sound, taste yourself in flavors. You can feel yourself. It's just amazing. And it's just so, it does, it can appear to deepen, it can appear to.
I do a lot of stuff with my mind too, as well, which are pretty awesome kind of practices. I don't know, kind of like magic things as well,
Mm-hmm.
which are kind of fun. Like that great bliss, like it started coming through as like a form of lightning, and like I can't even really describe like how that feels, really, the power
Mm-hmm.
behind that, or just I don't know. There's just like a lot of things, and I think that's what also makes it tricky because it's fun to just play with your mind and all of reality and all of these
Mm-hmm.
ways,
Yeah,
and
it
just
is
in
fun.
yeah, it's so much fun. And so there's like those layers too of like the Leela and like the play, and then like the fully like the full actualization of the bliss that is the I am,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like I don't know, it's all flowing in the right direction with all
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
amazing.
It is, and it's
It's
just
so
the
perfect.
it is, and it's just the this I guess the surrender and like this easing completely and all the way back into
Yeah.
and out of all of the lies that my mind is attached
Mm-hmm.
with, and caught up in all of the stories and stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
interesting with my energy and my mind and the stories because it's not like they're, just in my head. They're like interconnected with the unfoldment of everything. So it's a little bit different, with thoughts. They aren't, you know, something localized per se.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything you're experiencing is what you want, is what you want to freaking rest with yourself and wake you up
Mm.
more, kind of thing, where you'll dream stuff to keep up leveling, kind of thing, like a video game.
So,
Hey, Brent.
hey, I just want to say what I've noticed is, and it's nice to hear myself as you guys talking. It's talking to myself here.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is no head. There's no the the conversations that you have with yourself in your
Yeah.
quote unquote mind is you talking to source. You are source. You're talking to that character in your head, in your dream, in your
Mhm.
movie, in your story, and you're writing the story. You know, it's unbelievable what when you start thinking about it, when you start understanding who you are, what you are, and then what I've been finding is that the more I try and think about it or break it down or whatever, and if you want to think of it as the analogy of everyone is you pushed out, or everything is you pushed out.
Hmm.
The more you push out, the more you get away from yourself, your true self. When
Yeah.
you stop doing that, it's like it just collapses into absolute bliss. And I've
Yeah.
experienced that where it's just like I let all my senses go and it just zeroed out to blue.
To what? Zeroed
And
out?
I it just
It started
I
breaking up a
zeroed,
little
yeah,
bit.
I'm going through a rock cut here. It,
Oh, cool. Oh, it cut out.
all the emotions, all the emotions just basically
Okay, now
can you
it's
hear me
working.
now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when you stop doing that, pushing yourself out and questioning and doing all everything, when you finally know who you are, what you absolutely,
Hmm.
there's no effort anymore
Yeah.
because it just stops. You're not pushing it. You're not pushing yourself away.
Yeah. And that's the woo
Just
way.
trying
That's the woo
to,
way.
right? And that's
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Effortless being. Yeah. Yeah.
that's what.
Without
Yeah,
resistance. Without resistance. It's just pure being, pure experiencing, pure singularity, pure immediacy, like too intimate, too intimate. Yeah. That's
And then
amazing.
eventually, like it's just so, like whenever you see it, and this is where my mind's at, it's just kind of like whenever you see like that level of love, there's nothing else you'd rather do. You're like, I like want to just run straight to it as fast as I can, like with everything that I've got. You know what I mean? Because it's just
Yeah.
literal
And you wouldn't
infinite love.
desire it if you didn't weren't
Like
already it, you know, or
it's like,
knew it. Yeah.
I mean, the joy of everything that's ever happened or ever would happen, the source of all love ever from, you know,
Mm-hmm.
already fully present as you within. It's like,
That is
holy
right
shit.
now. That is right now. Even you know, hallucinating an entity or freaking having a person, or dreaming a character, projecting, or a low frequency, tasting yourself as that low frequency. That is still you as the immutable, infinite self that cannot be divided, you know. So you're already everything right now, even if it's being resisted or felt, or like,
Mm,
even if the cringe feeling's coming up, you know.
mm,
And even when that cringe feeling comes up, or that fear, or that resistance, being aware of it, just being it, being one with it intimately in that moment, you see yourself as what it's made of.
mm.
So you see yourself in the mirror and you
And
recognize that it's not separate. Yeah.
I was thinking about more of just like the desire or the longing for anyone to return back home or return back to source. It's what everyone already really wants because it's what everything already really is.
Already is. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just like anybody with, I mean, it's just clarity. You know what I
And
mean? The
it's
only
inevitable
thing that
because
anyone really wants.
you're God dreaming this. Yeah. So it's inevitable that you recognize yourself or wake up to yourself.
Yeah. And that's just the thing going back to that clarity. It's like, the resistances and the reactions of stories and emotions. And like a lot of it seems to be like identity with people. And I don't know, it's just odd. And so, you know, it just getting, I don't know, it feels like I can't really tell. It's like the wounds exist, but they don't exist. Like, it's like, do I address them? Like, you know, there's little nuanced subtleties in them that are complex and kind of tricky. But anyways, it just
Well,
kind
what
of,
is it without a thought, though? What is it without a,
exactly, exactly. And
yeah.
it's just kind of like, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, am I already stuck in thoughts that are subconscious, that are gripping, that are attaching, that are having resistances, that are preventing me from just effortlessly already being,
Well,
you know?
that's another limited belief. So you just be
Okay.
aware of that without thought, and it dissolves and it doesn't come up anymore when you witness it. Because the mind will keep trying to play scams because it's habitual, like it was addicted to
Yeah.
suffering or something. And then you
Yeah.
just keep zapping
The
it, keep
patterns.
zapping. Yeah, with awareness. And then it just, with that, there's no
Yep.
resistance in
Okay.
that, because you're seeing yourself as the source when you're aware of being aware of it. So there's no resistance. There's all inclusive love, like an unconditionally loving mother welcoming it home.
Mm.
In that moment, you're being it, which is the tantric quality of this, intimately being it when you're aware without thought, when you're feeling it fully, without pushing it away, without resisting it. And you dissolve it within you and you see it
Mm.
for what it is. And it's all beautiful. Like these, just like the headset, just like the icons in the headset are covering up the truth, they're covering up the code. They're not really what it appears to be. You're the field of awareness from which the hologram's appearing. It can't appear without you being aware of it. You're the source, you're the one, the substance from which it's appearing. So just like wearing a headset, when you're the infinite mind, the bodiless, formless consciousness that's tasting the elicited sensations, which are just frequencies that you're vibrating as within yourself to taste it. So these people are not people. No one, there's no human out there. There's no
Mm-hmm.
entity. There's no body. There's no form. None of it. There's just yourself as pure infinite
Mm-hmm.
being, pure infinite potential. So even those frequencies, which you could say are like a lower frequency, like they're kind of like
Yeah. It's
they're a
just like the
frequency
complete,
of yourself
yeah.
but it's also to show you what you're not. And so you dream that nightmare to show you what you're not, so you can
Mm.
wake up to yourself. You're shaking yourself, wake up. And so that there's a repelling sensation with those
Oh,
lower
yeah.
frequencies because they're high entropy. It's a de-evolving quality of yourself that was like so far forgetting itself, or low, like um vibrating
Yeah.
very
So,
low.
so caught
So
up in negative beliefs,
yeah,
so far away from the
which is
truth.
just a limited belief. It's a limited thought.
Suffering is only believing
Yeah.
in God. That's
Yeah,
it.
suffering is just a resisted thought.
Mm.
Yeah, so
And
without the thought there's no suffering.
once you
Hmm.
realize that those traits or those characteristics are not you anymore, you
Mm.
don't want to be there. So it's like they drop off,
Yeah, they
and you're
catapult
constantly
you out. Hmm.
there's no way of going back. Like it's that phrase, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's that you're always trying to push yourself forward because you're like, I don't want to go back to that, or I'm not going to go
Hmm.
back to that. I
Mm.
know what's ahead of me, or I know who I
Yeah.
am. I'm just working my way through the infinite versions of myself to teach myself
Yeah.
to finally get to that point of top dog.
Yeah, you realize yourself
Even though
in
you
what you're
already
not.
are, like
Mm.
that's the it's absolutely
Impossible for
fascinating.
everyone or everything to not be the greatest thing ever.
And everything is it. Like you sit there, you close your eyes, and you hear a bird. That's you. Like it's
Yeah,
the
it's
wind
all
blows
appearing
past
in
you.
you
Like
as
that's
as pure
it's
consciousness.
exactly. It's yeah, it's incredible.
the higher
You
the
think of
higher I
something,
go
and
in,
there it is.
And that is so obvious. I was laughing at myself when I was like, oh my God, that is so freaking obvious that everything, all of these sounds and sensations and appearances are appearing in my consciousness. They are not outside of me. Like I am the whole container. from which I'm appearing as these
Love
sounds
it.
and sensations. Yeah.
Whenever the mind of everything begins to communicate to you through all things, like, you know, the higher in energy you go, you the omniscient, omnipresent mind that is you, that is everything, you know, communicates through. So, like, as I go into these higher states of love and bliss, like, birds will start flying around me, people will start driving by with good music, you know, so the whole thing
Yeah.
changes.
It changes the whole dream, the
You know,
whole
and these
projection.
Tibetans, they just are in so much love that they can put their handprints in stone. I'm like, holy shit. That's what's present here and
And you
now.
get,
Like, all right, like then I don't have to do anything for it. Well, it's all right. I gotta just chill as much as I can and get all the shit fucking out of the way. So that's pretty much what I'm
No,
doing.
there's not even anything to do. That's the problem.
That's
There's
the
no getting
irony.
the shit out of the way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you trying to playfully postpone. That's
I
what's
just
happening.
feel, yeah, exactly. I'm
It's
just trying,
right now. It's already done. Nothing's
yeah,
ever happened.
in the heart of everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can just kind of abide there and then slip
Yeah.
back in.
Don't be fooled by the mind saying that it's not there yet and it's 2 weeks from now. Don't don't fall for that scam.
Yeah, that's so funny. Time and space doesn't exist, so literally it's present now, totally, in totality. So
And
it's
you'll
just getting back to
so
that.
that's just projecting what you're not to realize what you are. So
Yeah.
those limited beliefs and those dreaming this the characters that appear limited is just a limited thought appearing that you as pure awareness power are projecting or dreaming giving rise to see yourself to wake up to yourself to realize that you're limitless and infinite because you can't be limited and you already know that
Yeah.
it's
It,
intuitive. That's
it
why it
was,
feels uncomfortable.
it
So when
was,
yeah those frequencies will catapult you because to wake up it's perfect.
yeah, no, it really has. If one of the things that has really kind of clicked with that was, you know, it's like anger. And like I was noticing myself saying, like, don't lose it. Like, you don't want to lose it. And then just the subtle nuances with like losing something or whatever. And like whenever you lose your anger, you're, you know, like you kind of turn into like a victim and you're mad at something that you're helpless over. Just like
Mm-hmm.
like all these little nuances with all of these things. I forgot where I was going with any of that, but it just goes back into,
The mind trying to stay busy not to see yourself.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, and thinking that it has to do other
Mm-hmm.
things whenever it doesn't, and I don't
Which you
know
are
why
you are
those
what the
patterns are
mind's
so
made of.
strong.
You
Mm,
are what the mind's made of. I'm not saying the mind is bad. The mind is what you wanted to project, to dream yourself as what you're not, so you can realize what you are. You couldn't do it without
mm.
dreaming, couldn't recognize, because you're
Like,
infinite and limitless and formless. You don't have an object or finite anything in you. You don't have so just like in deep sleep where you're not thinking, so you're not dreaming, you're not experiencing, you're not projecting an illusion to dream to experience yourself or to you know that's why you don't remember it. It's because you're just aware of being aware all alone, aware of nothing, just empty potential in a superposition by itself, just pure awareness. And then you want to um, project the perception and thinking as the waking state so that you can consciously realize yourself, you can consciously recognize yourself and experience yourself as God. And then you can, and how amazing is that after
mm,
identifying as a finite, vulnerable object, thinking that it could die, thinking that things could happen to it and that there's an outside scary world. I mean, how amazing is that
mm.
to dream that, all to wake up to yourself, to realize you're
The greatest idea ever.
yeah,
Literally from the most enlightened mind ever, which is you. For
such a gift.
your, yeah, for the greatest reason ever, which is remembering what you are.
Yeah. In every moment between two thoughts, there is no moment, there's no time. You're just eternally yourself. And the and then that attention to thought, you create a new universe in that
Mm.
moment where nothing happened before this. It's new, it's
Mm,
empty,
that's
limitless potential. And
That's one
then,
of the things that I've been doing to kind of go back, because you've always been unbroken. And so by just recognizing that, it kind of can load, the simulation or whatever in that specific way. And I've been using that like as a form just to kind of go back into that stillness, because I have that awareness of in the infinite space of like immaculate pure and everything. It's just that infinite love of home, of the source that is, I know the totality, and the way that you're describing it now is it's just like I see that it's just, I'm swimming in it. I'm basking in it already. It's like the Zen people, like they're talking about, whenever like everyone's true nature is black as coal is the way that they describe it, which is, like the darkness within darkness of the Tao, completely already
luminous
God.
darkness. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but they're just not aware of it. So, I mean, it's like, I'm not, it's like, I'm almost there. So it's just
No,
like,
you're already there.
yeah, yeah.
Right now,
Yes, yes.
let's just be aware of being right now. Just be aware
Mm.
without thought. Just already here now, right now, eternally. And just feel yourself. So you can't arrive to this. You can't find this. You can only be this. You're not in time. You're prior to the mind. So you can't find yourself in concept or thought. You're what concept and thought is made of. You're what the sound of this voice is made of. You can't see yourself because you're not an object. You can only be yourself. And it's already done. There's no postponing it. There's no time for it to be postponed. And where's the future? You can only be your infinite self right now, eternally. So vigilantly, you have to force yourself off of the hamster wheel by being aware of those thoughts without thought,
Oh, yeah.
just being present and ignoring it, basically. Because if you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone.
Mm.
And then you realize you're the source of them. You're what they're made of, that you're what thoughts are made of, pure consciousness, pure awareness. There's nothing that's not you. And so they're harmless. They don't have any power. You are the power giving rise to them. And so then the thoughts are consistent with your understanding, your self-knowledge of pure being, pure consciousness. So then there's no limited thoughts trying to distract or
Mm. I think that I don't know, it was an interesting situation where I didn't realize someone, anything about it's like dissociative identity disorder, or like someone that's so traumatized that their psyche is in shattered bits that aren't even coherent. So I didn't realize that that person was that damaged and kind of sociopathic, and they willingly, intentionally attacked the living shit out of me, like in just all of these ways. And it was just so bizarre with all of the different energies and the way that it all manifests, and like, why am I dreaming this kind of thing? So, but I mean, again, it just goes back into like, even now, like this feels closer to that, like way closer to the indestructible bliss stability, it,
yeah. Well, even if, let me say
and there's
something
no
real quick.
damage, there's nothing wrong, or
Yeah,
just the stability.
in that moment of that dream, because that was just a dream, it didn't happen. In the
Mm.
moment of that
Mm-hmm.
immediate experiencing, say the person is going crazy or lashing out at you or whatever.
Completely
And
psychopathic and like
what I'm saying
stunning
is,
you, like
in that
they're
moment,
digging
if there
into
was no resistance in that moment, if you were being aware without thought, it would completely
exactly.
calm the whole situation down, and the character would be completely different. You're
Yeah,
projecting
yeah,
that,
yep,
you're
yep.
dreaming that because of a limited belief that you're holding on to, that you're attached to.
Mm. I did try to heal him instantly of all of his stuff. His neurological damage and everything, and I was like, okay, it's too much. I didn't
There's
know what
no
to do.
character with fucked up damage. That's
Yeah,
not
like
even real.
yeah, that's
That's
true.
just a projection.
That's
It's a
so
belief.
it's
So when you believe in a scary world, you will project a scary world. When you
I
believe in demons, you'll project demons.
yeah.
When you believe in any of that, you'll project a nightmare or horror movie to wake you up from the dream. It's to show you what you're not, to
Mm,
shake you,
mm,
so that you shakes you into your silence, so that you fall between the gap of the two thoughts and you realize you're the empty eternity, the unqualified being prior to experience that never suffers.
yeah, that's
You've
one of
never
the things.
suffered.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy because it is all like a hallucination or like a like perceived damage, not damage. Like there were so many different ideas and so many different like renderings and all different
Yeah.
stories all at once that I, was tailoring in essence, like kind of just to.
Well, being aware of all of that transmutes it, even just by being aware. It's when you're not
Yeah.
conscious of it, or
It's
resisting
just
it,
so
it'll
weird
keep
to
coming
kind
up.
of like part of I don't know, it's like there's some part of me that like I don't know if I'm like attached to the storyline because I remember I was telling you about kind of like that lonely feeling or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like and so I don't know if I'm like just trying to keep like a storyline going in my mind. There's
Yeah.
like a form of like energy work or
That
something because
sounds
it's
like, yeah, like
timelines.
you're
It's
using
it's
that
kind of worthless
resistance
in the
to
sense
avoid.
because it's because it's like you just you let it all go go home, right? You essentially just let it all go and it returns back to infinite love, infinite bliss, like unsurpassed
It's not even
points.
letting it go. There's nothing to do. It's just being aware, being
Mm,
knowingly,
nothing to attain.
being knowing, being knowing,
Mm,
just pure awareness, timeless awareness. And then you can see that's all there is timeless awareness.
mm,
Even logically, if you break apart your experience, that's all you get to is pure awareness, consciousness. That's all there is. That's what everything is. Pure infinite being, your being, your being. It's all you. And when you're abiding in your peace, then that's all you see is your peace. And then you stop dreaming nightmare characters to wake you up from the dream. You dream, a new universe of peaceful.
mm.
And then there's, deepening, and where there's not even, there's lucid dreaming where you're aware that it's a dream and it's all you, it's God dreaming, that there's no separation. But even that dissolves, and you're so immediately pure being that there's no distinguishing at all. There's no world,
You
no
change the
separation.
story.
Huh?
You change the story. You rewrite your story,
Yeah, you can dream
right?
anything. You can
You can
dream
dream. Yeah.
anything. And you know what? I was really fucking hard on myself. I was a fucking samurai. Like, I was so vigilant. Like, I'd be in the car driving and I'd be like, "What are you, a pussy? Grow some fucking balls. Don't fucking doubt yourself. Trust yourself. You're the absolute. Wake up." I used to fucking playfully go like, I wasn't mean, but I was playfully like slapping the face, like, wake up. Whenever I'd slip, and be
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
character on the screen in the movie.
That
It's just
sounds
so
like me
crazy
these
how
days
unreal it
too.
is.
I
I
said
was
that to
so
myself the
vigilant.
other day. I'm like,
Oh, you
grow a
did?
pair, buddy. Grow a pair. I'm like,
I
what are you
love it.
doing to yourself? Come on. And it's just
Yeah.
like it's like that next step of you. It's just egging you on. Like, come on, man. Just do it. Just
Yeah,
let
and when
go.
It's just so weird
yeah,
because there's no one there to even grow a
I
pair.
know.
I
Like,
know. Isn't
Exactly.
that funny? That's the joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whenever it would slip, I'd be like, snap out of it.
mm,
Be aware of being aware. Fucking feel this fully. Don't resist this shit. This is you appearing to yourself within yourself.
Yeah.
You're dreaming. Yeah. But it was that vigilantly witnessing what you're talking about with those limited thoughts coming up to fucking try to worry and problem solve. I had to jump off the hamster wheel. I had to force it. It was like, you can't do this anymore.
Mm.
I'm done with this. And that was that surrender. That was that free fall.
And that's one of the things, because if I get caught up like in the reactions and stuff, it's like, how could someone do such a thing? And then it's like it all just creates those storylines or whatever. And so it's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just fascinating and interesting to kind of watch. Like, I don't know, I get visions with like all of these energies doing all of these crazy things. And so it's like I'm, you know, seeing even things now with the way that you guys are speaking. And you know, it's just so fascinating with that, I guess. Or, you know, because as you were speaking, I could feel like these subtle attachments and unconscious things like attached to the feeling of like brokenness or something. And it's like that indestructible bliss, which is, you know, the ground from which it all arises, what everything's in, and just by noticing it, you're free.
Mm-hmm.
It's like yeah, just that recognition alone, you know, it's like as you speak, it's like I feel that strength come through, and it just feels like solidifies, you know,
Yeah.
kind of
And
that.
feeling that sensation fully, completely, without thought, just being present, being aware being, which is just being yourself. It dissolves everything. So that avoiding it or pushing it away or pushing it down or trying to be subject object, you know, to stretch your awareness away from it to see it or know it as something, an object, you know, it's like it feels uncomfortable, which is like the slingshot pulling back. It's inevitable. It's going to, you know, there's going to be a release.
I feel like you, like the Buddhists say, like, you know, it's guard your mind like you have a broken arm in a crowd. Sometimes it's not, I mean, I agree with it, but it's like this, even the subtle belief of those things creates the rendering of it.
Yeah,
So
because
it's,
that's feeding the idea that there's a separate individual to be free. That's another, that
mm,
it's so funny how it'll just keep coming up with these, that like I said before, I had to put all the Advaita textbooks down because I was coming up with more rules and things to do. And it was in that silence of being aware without thought that
I mean, it's
just
nice just
basking.
to know, you know, that like the Taoist, I mean, like the uncarved block is the light body. It's so simple. Like the
Mm-hmm.
uncarved block, the natural, original, pure state of mind is literally that. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, everything else is nigh. Like,
Yeah.
everything else is nothing. You know what I mean? And it's just how do I abide and just get I don't know. I guess it is all organized. I'm just basically trying to smooth it out. So I'm just at more peace so I can be even at more peace.
What is it without thought right now?
The answer.
The uncarved block. The uncarved block. Already done. Too easy.
Mm.
The thoughts will say otherwise because you're not a thought.
No, it's just the subtleties on like the surface of the screen, like the way that the energy is identified with the things that are like in the mind, the contents, instead of, you know, the releasing or like the disidentification or the instant recognition of, you know. So it's
And
working.
there's no disidentification. All there is just resting as being. And it's too simple.
Mm.
It's just resting, relaxing, just being without thought is when you recognize yourself as consciousness without thought. It's already done. So the thought can come in, I need to do this or I need to surrender, I need to but that's just a thought. What is it without thought? What's aware of the thought? That which is aware of the thought doesn't need to surrender. It's already awakened eternally. And so you're projecting yourself as that thought to wake up from the dream to recognize. And what's so interesting is you have total free will. You're totally free to believe that there's a path or a process, and then you project, you dream a path and a process. If you believe that there needs to be seeking, or that they're seeking, you perpetuate seeking. So it's like jumping off the hamster wheel, being aware of that without thought, transmuting that, dissolving that. I made a video on our spirit collective community that was reading this from one of the Advaita Bibles. He who considers himself free is free indeed, and he who considers himself bound remains bound. As one thinks, so one becomes, is a popular saying in this world, and it is quite true. This is a very significant utterance, and one that contains an invaluable lesson for those who wish to attain self-realization. In reality, the self is ever free. It never enters into a state of bondage. It is our ignorance that we think ourselves bound. So it's just a projected belief, a thought. I am bound, that dreams being bound. And this thought makes our supposed bondage persist and continue. If, however, we constantly think of ourselves as eternally free, we shall realize that we are ever free. So I made a video all about that, and how really being aware of those beliefs that are being projected. What are you feeding? Because you're the power of awareness. What are you dreaming? And so those limited beliefs, like seeking, will keep projecting seeking, will keep dreaming seeking. So it's like you jump off the hamster wheel. Not only are you aware of it without thought, transmuting it, dissolving it, just being present, basking in your presence, but you're also automatically dissolving and cleaning up those limited thoughts that are projecting a nightmare. It's like you're affirming, I am free already. When those thoughts would come up, I'd be like, no, that's a fucking lie. And I wouldn't resist it. I would, be aware without thought, just completely. It's the opportunity to be free. It's the opportunity arising to wake up from, and I could see it as that. I was welcoming them. I said, please come on, come up, come home right now, integrate right now. I'm already free. So being vigilant with those thoughts, because they'll keep scamming. It's like a habitual thing, and then the more you bask in yourself, the more you don't even need to do that step. You don't even need to, because if you're just basking as yourself, there's nothing to integrate, which there already isn't, but you see that, clearly. But if it appears gradual, if habitually they're coming up to scam, then they all just were so fucking repressed and so pushed away, so avoided, that it just needed some extra love, But that's the power of awareness, like the Neville Goddard Power of Awareness book. You're the only cause. What are you lighting up? What are you illuminating? What are you projecting? What do you want your dream to be like? The more you realize yourself as God, all you see is God. So then you dream heaven.
I like
But
it whenever it becomes inescapable to, only view it as the greatest thing ever. Because it's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. The
Yep.
more you make love to it, the more you make love to experiencing, the more you find yourself in experiencing, which is the tantric quality of it. Like if you study, if you realize that, you're being aware fully without thought of pure experiencing, pure knowing, being knowing, then that's all there is. And it's too obvious. And so then you find yourself everywhere and everything, and that's all there is. Just intimately being. No separation, no stretching yourself to appear as a subject and an object simultaneously. You're just pure subjectivity. There's no object. There's just pure being, pure tasting. So the more I abided and just basked, the more it took care of everything. It dissolved everything. There's no more resisted, no more telling thoughts to fuck off, because I could see that I was vibrating within myself as a thought to experience myself as the infinite, unqualified, formless being that's non-conceptual, that doesn't have a thought. So the more you bask as that, then the more that's all you see. And so then everything is your contented, fulfilled self. So even the thoughts, even the sensations, even the appearances are yourself. Oh, I was going to mention that there, like when I was noticing, because you can only notice when there's reference to what it's not. So in that moment of negation where there's a contrast, where you can, that's when you can see a shift in awareness, because of what it's not. So you notice that it's different, that it's, there was a moment where I was driving and there was this thing where this woman, I can't remember what she was trying to do, but I wasn't doing it because I wasn't aware of her, like I wasn't looking. And then I looked over and saw her shake her head like at me or whatever. And instead of that, that separated thought of, oh, that bitch, or like whatever would have come up before, I was the shaking of the head in that moment, tasting myself as that quality, one infinite, immutable being, like one frequency undulating, within itself. Just, and then the same came up with when there was an unpleasant chat with someone. They were saying something that was, a limitation or something, and instead of that resistance to it, or like fuck you, it was like I was the lips moving, I was the words coming out of the mouth. It was just like that intimate tantric pure experiencing without an experiencer, without experience, no subject object. So then you notice that more and more. You notice that I could notice the little progress that was appeared to be, even though there's no time, but appeared gradual, with basking, with just everything just, it's just more and more obvious that this is all you as pure consciousness, and that's all you ever experience is yourself. So look for yourself in everything, like fucking investigate the experience, dissect it fully by feeling it without thought, just pure experiencing, and see what it's made of. You can only ever find yourself. And so it's like deep sleep, awareness, just self-aware, like the screen at the movie theater, self-aware. Yay, friends, that's so fun. Did you want to say anything else?
I want to show this image, but that's about it. Just because
Cool.
it's got cool energy in it.
Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, beloved. Oh, that is beautiful. Can you go a little closer? Wow.
Absolutely love it. So
Dude, that reminds me, someone commissioned me a piece of art, wanted me to do a piece of art for them with the wheel of samsara inside an eyeball. And I'm still working on imagining what that looks like. Because right when I see it, I can do it, but it's like it's still in limbo. Oh, cool. Those are beautiful. Jaguar. Yeah, but channel that jaguar with the thoughts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just the absolute nothingness, you know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
it. As the answer to
Yay, I know.
everything.
And then those little scam thoughts are cute. They're like, oh, you cute little thought. I love you. You can come anytime you want. And then it's like no resistance. Boom, woo away, you know?
Just being completely out of the way and leaving only the Tao
Yeah.
left. Oh, that image is the center of the Tao.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
Can you text me that image, like a picture of it that I can see
Yeah, I'll
closer?
send it. I'll
Thank
send
you.
it. It's so nice. There's a lot of
Mhm.
energy that I've put into that with a lot of people looking into it and
Beautiful.
seeing a lot of things with it. So.
Oh, thank you guys. I love you. Mwah. Big hugs.
Okay.
Yay. In the chat. What an amazing chat. Yay, Raleigh. Love you. Talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Yay.